All right, let's dive into a story that I think a lot of us can relate to. It's a story of transformation, really, about how one person who was feeling completely and utterly stuck managed to find a path to a more disciplined and, a more fulfilling life.
So, meet Ritik. On the surface, things are fine. He's got a small apartment, a job that pays the bills, but inside, man, there's this nagging feeling that he's just drifting, not really achieving anything significant. He feels lost, unproductive, and just kind of aimless. And I think we've all been there at some point, right? That feeling of, is this it?
And then, one night, doing what we all do, just aimlessly scrolling on his phone, he stumbles across a book review. The title? How to Be Disciplined by Sheldon Howe. Now, he's a little skeptical, for sure, but something about it just clicks. So he orders it. And that one tiny, simple decision, well, it's about to change absolutely everything for him.
Okay, so let's get into the first big lesson Ritik learns from this book. And this one, it's the absolute foundation of discipline. It's all about the power of setting clear, concrete goals. So he cracks open the book, and boom, this one line just leaps off the page at him. If you don't know where you are going, you'll never get there. And that was it. That was his problem in a nutshell. He had all these big dreams, but they were just fuzzy. They were these vague clouds of ideas with no clear path, so he never even knew where to start.
So he doesn't waste any time. He puts this into practice immediately. He takes those fuzzy dreams and starts carving them into something real, something actionable. You see, become a digital marketing expert. That's vague. But complete 3 advanced marketing courses, now that's a target. Get in shape becomes lose 10 kilograms in the next 6 months. Read more becomes read 5 new books every month. All of a sudden, it's not a dream anymore. It's a map.
Okay, so having a map is great, right? But you still have to actually walk the path, and that's a whole other ballgame. This is where he learns the next critical lesson. You need a system, and that system is built on routines and self-control.
I mean, think about it. Riddick's life before this was pure chaos. Late nights, hitting snooze a dozen times, wasted weekends just disappearing. And the book points out, creating a consistent daily routine helps in building habits that reinforce discipline. It hits him hard. He realizes that to make any real progress, he needs structure. He has to stop just letting his days happen to him. So what does he do? He sits down and designs this perfect schedule for himself. We're talking a 6 a.m. wake-up call, no excuses. Right into exercise from 6:15 to 7, then these 2 deep, focused blocks of work. And this is so important. He carves out 1 solid hour every single evening just for learning, and then a hard stop at 10 p.m. Bedtime. This isn't about making life rigid and boring. It's about making sure you have time for what actually matters to you. But here's the thing. Having a routine on paper is easy. The hard part is defending it from, life. And that brings us to the next absolutely critical piece of the puzzle, self-control. The book defines it so well. It's all about resisting those short-term pleasures for the sake of your long-term goals. And man, that is the battle we all fight every single day, isn't it?
And you can see his little battle wins right here. He straight up deletes the social media apps that were just black holes for his time, and he sets a strict 15-minute limit for the ones he keeps. He gets invited to a party but says no because he knows it'll wreck his morning workout. He even skips dessert to stay true to his fitness goals. And that's the key, isn't it? Every one of those small no's is actually a huge yes to the person he wants to become.
All right, so Ritik is building this amazing external structure with his routine and self-control. But what about the internal chaos? That constant chatter in your head, the worries, the distractions. That's a whole different beast. And this is where the next lesson comes in, practicing mindfulness.
The book has this incredible analogy that just clicks for him. It says, the mind is like a monkey, always jumping from one thought to another. Mindfulness helps you tame this monkey. And Riddick is like, yes, that's me. His mind is constantly swinging from branch to branch, stuck on some regret from the past one minute, then freaking out about the future the next. So what's the solution? Something so simple, but so powerful. He starts a new daily practice, just 10 minutes of mindfulness meditation, every single day. And this tiny habit starts to have this huge ripple effect. His focus gets sharper, his stress levels start to go down, and for the first time in a long time, he feels truly present and engaged in his own life.
So at this point, he's got it all dialed in, right? He's got the goals, the routine, the mindset. It feels like he's unstoppable. But, life, Life isn't that simple, is it? So what happens when, after all that effort, everything just falls apart? And that brings us to maybe the toughest lesson of all, resilience. How to learn from failure. So Riddick gets his first big project at work. He is all in. He pours every ounce of his newfound discipline into it, and the project fails. It completely bombs, and he is just devastated. He feels like all that hard work, all that change, it was for nothing. So he goes back to the book feeling totally defeated, and he finds this one line that completely changes his perspective. Failure is not the end, it's a stepping stone to success. And that just reframes everything for him. He realizes failure isn't a judgment on who he is, it's just data, it's feedback, it's a lesson, paid for in frustration.
So instead of just wallowing in it, he does something really smart, something incredibly productive. He performs an autopsy on his failure. He breaks it down. Okay, what went wrong? He realizes he tried to do everything himself. The lesson? Learn to delegate effectively. He sees he didn't check in with his team enough. The lesson? Maintain regular communication. He's literally turning this painful experience into a practical, concrete strategy for the next time around.
And this leads us to the final and maybe the most powerful lesson of all. This is the glue that holds everything else together. It's the secret ingredient that turns a temporary fix into a real, lasting transformation.
And this quote, man, it just says it all. Motivation gets you started, but consistency keeps you going. This is the big realization for Riddick. The real magic isn't in some huge, heroic effort. It's not about having a perfect week. The real power, it's in the quiet discipline of just showing up, day after day after day, especially on the days you really, really don't want to.
And here's how he puts that into practice. He makes one simple commitment, just 30 minutes of exercise every single day. No matter what, no excuses. See, it's not about the intensity, it's about the consistency. It's living proof that these small, repeatable actions, when they're compounded over time, they're what lead to absolutely massive results.
So, after all these lessons, what is the ultimate takeaway from Riddick's journey? It's really this. Discipline isn't some finish line that you cross one day and you're done. It's not a destination you finally arrive at. It's a journey. It is an ongoing daily practice of making small, conscious, positive choices over and over again.
Look, Riddick's entire transformation started with one single, small choice: to buy a book. He built this incredible new life for himself, one clear goal at a time, one structured day at a time, one mindful breath at a time. So the question I want to leave you with is, what's your first step?